Hello. Hang on a second. Okay. Well, I'm sorry for the kind of crappy camera angle with the mount blocking it. It's just my phone onto the dashboard. And I always do this in my Explorer. And it worked out great, but the shape and the length and the whatever of this windshield on this truck that I have now just really does not make it very does not make it very conducive to mounting the camera like this. So I'll have to get a different mount or something. But anyways, so I'm making this video kind of as a quick update. So what happened was I had made all those summer videos in the summer, and then I put them over the winter in such a way that they would, in my crazy mind, last until I could start making videos again, or at least close to when I could start making videos again. Now, obviously, since we still have tons of snow on the ground, as you can see, and fun little fact, we've actually had the coldest winter since 1820 in this area, and the most snowy winter since like around there too. So kind of a unplanned course of events. So what's gonna happen is the video stopped March 1st. There was no more videos. I had spread them out to March 1st, and that was it. So there's not gonna be any videos for a while, unfortunately. But I'll have to try to fill in the gaps with this kind of stuff, which I really didn't want to have to do, but there's really not much I can do about it, other than next year planning out things in such a way that the videos will last until April, which I should have done anyway. I mean, I knew that winter doesn't end here March 1st. I don't know why I did them to then, but I'm feeling too optimistic, I guess. But anyways, so this is going to be a kind of a vlog, I guess, and I'm going to do this from the other perspective. So I guess I'm responding to Triple X Deadhead's vlog about motorcycle risk assessment, and how that how you can actually kind of sort of not calculate, but evaluate your risk on a motorcycle. So I think it's important to know. I mean, I liked all of his points, but I think it's also important to know too, when you're looking at your motorcycle risk, you really have to look at the other side of that, and the other side of it, and the actual cause of what makes it a risk. So what he talked about was all of the, essentially, kind of some of the things you can do to mitigate risk, and how you can actually figure out how much risk you're actually doing is you're leveling that playing field a little bit, because a lot of any avoidance of risk comes down to like being humble and not ever thinking that you aren't in risk, and not ever thinking that your situation is better than it is, because no matter what you're doing in this world, like you mentioned, you are at some type of risk. You know, just driving down this road in a 5,000 pound pickup truck, I'm still at some type of risk, even though there's no cars around. I mean, my hand could slip off the steering wheel, and I could go, into a snowbank, flip over, and I could die. I mean, there's that decent possibility of that, really. I mean, just like the making of this video actually puts me at a little bit more of a risk, because no matter how you slice it, I'm slightly more distracted than if I wasn't talking to myself. So there's a lot of things, but what I kind of want to point out is that, if you have the mindset of, oh, I'm at less risk, whether you consciously know it or not, it makes you a bit complacent. That's a word. Makes you a bit complacent, and in that, you raise that risk bar again. And you might actually be safer in the car. If you're complacent as hell about it, you're texting and talking on the phone while driving, suddenly your risk is higher, and your risk to other people is higher, which that's just making you kind of a jerk. So you have to really, really, really consider, what you're doing. And let's say that you go to a bar, Friday night, you go to a bar, you get drunk, and you drive home. I don't know the exact numbers and whatever, but I think most people would agree that if you're driving home drunk at night, maybe it's raining, snowing, who knows, versus just riding your motorcycle in a controlled fashion with good safety gear on, that ratio of safety definitely they close in on each other. So it's not so cut and dry, like I'm in a car, I'm safe, I'm on a bike, I'm in danger. You really have to think about all the aspects of it as far as what you're actually doing, how that activity is actually propagated throughout all the factors that can affect you. And I think it's very important to consider that. Another thing is, if you depending on certain types of crash scenarios. So like if you're this is a bit far, it's slightly far-fetched, not really, but a little bit far-fetched. So like, let's say you're in a car, right, and somebody spins out in front of you. They're driving down the road, and their car, spins out in front of you. If you're in a car, maybe you have enough room, maybe you don't, but you have to find a way to fit 6-7 feet wide of car through some gap in the road, or you're going to hit that person. I mean, that's like math and physics and things. Like, if there's a car in front of you and there's not 6 feet for you to get around them, and not enough time for you to get around them, you are going to hit them. Now, with a motorcycle, because it's like a stock. It's perfectly stock. I promise you. No, it's not. Okay.